My topic is the analysis of the effects that an insufficient mental stimulation in early childhood can have on the personality and mentality of that said person later in life. So, a child who is fed, housed, and changed, his biological needs satisfied, is a murderer at age 16. How can this be? Nothing proves more important in the growth and development of a child than the mental stimulation provided during the earliest years of life. And if these years of development are neglected, a child can range their deficiencies anywhere from mildly disturbing to life-threatening. So first, we look at a child named Leon. He had a good nuclear family, 2 parents who had jobs. He was safe and sound. Yet at 16, he becomes a murderer. How could that be? Leon's mom often took his older brother out on walks and left him alone. By leaving him alone and not giving him the mental stimulation that he needed to progress into being a normal young adult, Leon became a psychopath and literally murdered 2 girls at age 16. If Leon had been more mentally stimulated when he was younger, there's a possibility he would have never turned out that way. Justin, often referred to the boy who was raised as a dog, was taken care of in his earliest years of life by an elderly man who had no experience raising children. Justin wasn't spoken to, he wasn't played with, he was never cradled. His only companions were dogs. And with this, Justin did not develop the factors like speaking, talking, academics, anything like that. If Justin had been cradled, swaddled, and maybe talked to, he would not have turned out that way. Peter is a boy who was born in Russia, but he was given to an institution and raised in an institutional environment at an orphanage. His max face-to-face contact with an adult was 30 minutes a day. Peter, at age 7, was still doing infantile actions. He could barely speak, he didn't understand social cues. If Peter had been less neglected as a child, he would not have had such deficiencies with learning. Other than these specific case studies, there are other studies like the one done by Guy Begin and Michael Bolvin. They analyzed people who had been neglected as children but grew up to be people, and starting in elementary school, those children who have been neglected have a negative self-perception of themselves. They often see themselves as lower in social status than others and more upset with their lives. This is because in their earliest years of development, nobody was there to care for them and love them and give them the mental stimulation that they needed to grow and develop into happy, optimistic people. Another study done by Dr. Kathy Widom, she analyzed the fact that people who were neglected as children were 1.75 times more likely to develop PTSD as adults. This shows that being neglected in your earliest years of development often can lead to lasting mental health issues. A woman named Kirsten Weir did a longitudinal study on children who were born in an institution but then later were adopted, and she followed them for 14 years, and 14 years later she found out that the children who were neglected in their earliest years of development were often more angry, impulsive, socially withdrawn, and had pathological behaviors like twitches and tics. This shows that the mental capabilities of children are literally less when they are neglected as children. If they do not have the stimulation that other children have, it literally makes them not be able to function as well in life because their brains do not come out as well. So, in conclusion, it is extremely detrimental for children to be neglected in their earliest years of development. Early childhood experiences that do not consist of stimulation or contact will most often yield a poisonous impact on development.